lures on the end of your hook. Let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John.
Hi, y'all are. Cage Rob here hanging out with you.
What a treat we have tonight. We have Tricia Mcgraw. Not only is she excellent fisherman, but she's also the owner of Fish Her. By the way, my jersey. Got that early last week, and I was happy about that.
And the way bag in the background.
Yes, which is also my day bag for fishing. But we're here not just to talk about her company and all that, but last time we had her on, she mentioned that her favorite technique was the shaky head. I have caught absolutely zero fish on a shaky head. All right. And I know it took me a long time to think about that one, but part of it is I don't have the confidence and the setup. You know, I'm in New York and everybody's, spinning rod and all this and all that with a shaky head, light ounce, 16th, 8th, 5/16, 15, 16ths. I don't know. Or 1/15 of an ounce, but that's not my style. Like when I drop shot with a 1/2 ounce weight. Everybody's like 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce, but not me. But let's bring Tricia on so we can try to get her going and try to educate me a little bit. Sound good?
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, here we go.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Hey, John, after hearing that, I think I want you to come to Lake Erie, and I'm going to fish against you. And then the bait I'm going to let you have is shaky head, buddy.
Uh-oh. It's on.
A little bit of competition.
How about you come to Cayuga Lake?
Is that up in New York?
Yes.
Never been there.
Well, but, it's fishing really well this right now. They just had a partners tournament, and one of my buddies had 22.5 pounds, and he was an 8th.
Oh, wow.
28 something won.
Is it a smallmouth fishery?
Both. Yeah. It holds the New York State record for largemouth and smallmouth.
Dang. That's proof in the pudding right there.
Yeah, absolutely. That may be a good place for us to go fish, Rob.
Definitely.
Hey, let's load up Pinky and head on up. We'll just, crash at John's place.
There you go.
There you go. You're more than welcome to. I have a spare. Hey, bring Angie if you want. I have a queen size bed and a single bed.
Buddy, I got a boat that will match your shirt.
Yep. She does that.
So what you're saying, it should be my boat. Your boat matches my shirt.
My boat matches your shirt. Yes, sir.
There you go.
All right. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? 8 ounces money on the James.
Jeremy throwing a little juice out there early.
So.
You see what I throw here, John, right?
Yep.
That's an 1/8 ounce.
Okay.
So. If you're from the South, you may need to load up on some dynamite.
He's speaking from experience. Let's just say on that one.
Yeah, he came to New York and fished the on Oneida Lake. He fished an open a couple of years ago, and we had a little bit of a wave situation. There was 6 to 8 footers out.
Just a wee bit.
They don't usually get them on the James River.
No.
So, well, I'll give him credit. He stuck it out.
That's a rough day of fishing. I mean, I've hit rough water, but I try to tuck myself in a way to get out of it when I can.
Yeah. Well, Oneida Lake, there's not really a tucking location.
Oh.
So it makes it's kind of like a circle.
Yep.
With islands and shoals in it.
Yeah, but I guess you could tuck yourself in behind an island, but
yeah.
Any marinas or anything up there? Like large marinas and stuff?
Not really where you can tuck yourself in, though. It's crazy. But
yeah, that's the thing I like about Lake Erie is when it gets rough up there. I mean, just go into one of the marinas or harbors and fish.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of fishing in those places. And that's usually what we do. If it's, of course, we're 3.5 hours south of Erie, but we spend almost every weekend up there. And if it, we watch the wind because you have to up there. But if it's going to be rough on the water, then we'll stay in the marinas and the harbors. And if it's going to be, a relatively calm day or 10 mile per hour or less is kind of our gauge. If we're just having fun fishing, we'll hit the main lake and fish for smallmouth.
Yeah. Jeremy says he'd rather get a tummy tuck than fish that place again.
The bigger question is he talking from experience on both of those? That's just.
And yeah.
How do you know what a tummy tuck feels like? I'll just ask it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. So Tricia, I'm excited and anxious to learn about this technique that Rob says he caught a lot of fish on it. You say you catch a lot of fish on it?
Honey, it's my husband usually has to make me put a shaky head down.
Yep.
That's how confident I am in that bait. And usually I'll have 2 of them tied on. If I'm fishing somewhere with weeds, I'll throw the lighter, throw the 1/8 ounce shaky head. 1/8 ounce is kind of my go-to on that shaky head. And it works great in current and stuff as well. But I'll also throw a trick worm on a 1/16 ounce weight if I'm fishing in weeds, that same trick worm.
Yep.
And like I said, I always have both of them rigged up on the deck of my boat. But my go-to is that 1/8 ounce. And we went to Pickwick a few years ago, and we were fishing the bluff walls. And I was up 20 bass on my husband. I'm fishing out the back of the boat. And he's like, what are you doing different? Well, it was the weight of the shaky head. Mine was getting the action, moving with the current, and his wasn't. He was throwing a 1/2 ounce. I was throwing an 1/8. So
Ashley Klaus says, hey guys. Hey Ashley, how are you?
hi, Ashley.
And she whacks them with it. I don't.
Yep.
Yeah, she did good on All-American on it. I was watching, and she did good.
She did. We're Ashley. I don't know. I believe she told you guys she joined Team Fish Her. So
she did. Yep.
It's part of our team now. So point that up so I can see you guys a little better. There we go.
There you go. I was just about to ask you to do that. Jeremy wants to know, have you tried the net bait 7-inch straight worm on a 3/8 ounce shaky head? That's his favorite.
No, my favorite worm is just a Zoom 7-ounce trick worm.
Yep.
That's what I throw. I've never tried the net bait 7-inch worm because I have so much success with Zoom, and I'll go and tell you I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. But this worm specifically comes in so many different colors that if you have to alter the color, based on the forage, or, if we go to Kentucky Lake and need red bug for down there, or Rob was saying earlier, Dale Hollow, they like the blue fleck on the green pumpkin worm. And you're always going to find that availability with Zoom versus some of the other manufacturers that have very limited colors available.
Guy Cromp, he's from Syracuse, New York, which is he's a guide on Oneida Lake, Jeremy's favorite lake in the world, and he's down at the high school championships.
Good deal, man.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he has a couple kids down there, and he's taken out. So.
Well, good luck to you guys and be safe down there, Guy.
Yep.
No.
If you need anything, there's a tackle place, a Michael Neal's place, Real Deal Tackle, right there in Dayton. You need anything, he's got everything. He's got one of the best looking shops I think I've been in. Great shop.
Hey, he doesn't have Fish Her yet.
He needs to. Yeah, he needs to.
I'll talk to him about it.
We need to get into Tennessee. We definitely need to look into expanding there. But business has been so crazy that I haven't had as much time to fish as I would like to, honestly, this year. But like I said, this is my favorite method. And again, the shaky head I prefer is the Buckeyes lures. Not sponsored by them any way, shape, or form. I do like Venom's shaky head as well. But with Buckeye lures, specifically, the head lays flat.
Yep.
Some of them tilt at an angle. So with this head being flat, and I'll tip the phone there so you can see it, John. But with the head laying flat like it does, on the Buckeye Lures bait,
Okay.
you get all that extra action on the worm. The worm stands straight up and it wiggles. And you know, a lot of people think that with a shaky head, they want to shake it like a jig or something when they're fishing it. I haven't found that to actually work, because with the shaky head, you're going to catch aggressive fish, and you're going to catch those fish that are kind of shut down, as well as the ones that are up off the bottom, because they can see it off the bottom. You know, it's standing up 7 inches off the bottom of the water. So with this bait specifically, I just kind of like to pull it, like move it a few inches at a time. Like I said, I've been in the boat with people who fish them like a jig. And you really don't have to do that. You don't have to put that extra action on this bait, because the head itself, as well as the current and things in the water, give the bait its action.
Exactly. And sometimes when I come to a rock, or you can feel a rock or like a piece of wood, stump, or lay down, I'll kind of shake the slack, just let it sit there and have that tail kind of vibrate. That drives them nuts sometimes.
Yes, the tail will wiggle around that, you know, forage down there, and they'll see it. And yeah, they don't like this bait for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but they hammer this bait when they hit it. And John, I can't believe you don't fish one, because you can throw this on a spinning outfit.
Oh yeah,
you can absolutely. My husband's got a spinning outfit right now. He just bought up at Fisherman Central and set up to fish a shaky head on up there for, you know, the smallmouth when we're out on the main lake fishing. I love fishing for the largemouth with this bait. Usually I'll throw a drop shot if I'm fishing for smallmouth up there.
Same.
But I didn't even throw a spinning outfit until 2 years ago. And that was because we were spending so much time on the Detroit River. But I started with a bait caster, and that's how I've always fished. But I'll go ahead and show you what I do with this, John. So with the tip of these trick worms, it's kind of narrow.
Yep.
So I just kind of pinch off the very top of it. Usually I'm actually in a hurry, and I'm not going to do it here, but I'll usually just bite the tip of it off and spit it in the bottom of the boat. So it's got the screw system, and that's why I like to take that tip off, because it screws on easier if you've got a flat surface there. So you screw it on, pull the hook back through, and again, like I said, that head is flat, so that worm will literally just kind of wiggle in the water. But the other thing that I do, I don't like spike it in the containers.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep, markers.
Too messy.
Yep.
No, they're not.
So you take that marker and about 1 centimeter up on the bottom, paint the tail. And you know, sometimes I think they can see it easier with the chartreuse. I don't really think that it's the garlic that's luring them, but I think the garlic does cover up the human scent on the bait.
Oh yeah.
So I like the garlic spike it, like I said, about 1 centimeter up. And I'll show you the one I've got rigged up here. Now this is on my 7'5" G Loomis, and it's a fence post. But I love this rod. I like this rod so well. I have 3 of them. Okay, so this one's got my shaky head on it right now. I probably had a fish up at the camper steal my worm off of that one.
Yep.
But I pair mine with, I've got a Curado DC on this. I do have some SLX DCs as well for reels.
Okay.
And, you know, I love the Curados, but during COVID, I was having issues finding them. So I started going with the SLX, which is a little bit cheaper of a model through Shimano. But I haven't had any issues with the SLX DC. It fishes as well as the Curado DC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very happy with both of them. And like I said, this rod's an absolute fence post. You can take a 5.5 pound bass and boat flip it in the boat on this rod. So I do love my G Loomis rods, but I was telling Rob earlier, Fish Stick sent me a rod this year that they customized for Fish Her after I met them at the Columbus Fishing Expo. And it's very comparable to my G Loomis rods. That's the only other rod that I've found that I've kept in the boat with my G Loomises. Everything else usually gets thrown in the top of the garage. But that Fish Sticks rod is a very good rod. Very sweet. Oh yeah. I throw a jig on it for my shaky heads, and even when I'm throwing a trick worm and weeds, I like that 7'5" rod.
Guy says he hit that shop today. You were talking about, Rob, the real deal. Cost
Oh, yeah.
$100.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's easy to do with that shop. I'm telling you, it's easy.
Carly Prevet says hello.
Net
And Jeremy says he was a Zoom junkie for 15 years, but net bait colors are impressive. Seem to help his catch ratio. But Zoom and Buckeye are hard to beat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not against net bait. For my jigs, I've thrown net baits for years for the trailers on those.
Yep.
And it's color availability. Net bait has better color selection than Zoom does.
Yeah.
For the trailers for my jigs. But as far as the trick worms and what I usually fish, I've got so much confidence in this bait. I don't see myself ever switching from it. Now, if the bass shut down on this bait at Lake Erie, they'll hit a Ned rig in the same color.
See, I haven't caught a fish on a Ned rig either.
A little Z-Man, green pumpkin, turd. I mean, they'll eat it up there. Buddy, you got to get out on the water some more.
We're gonna do it here. We're gonna do it here. I mean, Ned has cashed. The Ned rig has cashed me more checks this season than anything.
Yes, and like I said, they'll usually hit the shaky head up there. But I found sometimes that they're so shut down that they won't even hit it.
Yeah.
And if they won't, they'll hit that Ned.
Oh yeah.
I will tell you something else fun I found this year, John, and you like pink too, so you'll appreciate this. my husband likes throwing a bubblegum Cinco.
Yep.
And the pre-spawn and spawn. I don't like throwing a wacky rig Cinco. I started throwing one earlier this year, and that was only because he made me. He left my rod in the rod locker and wouldn't let me have it for my shaky head. So, I mean, I like the way they hit it, but I went to Fisherman's Central and bought a pack of pink trick worms.
Yep.
Bubblegum pink trick worms, and they hammer that bait. And the pre-spawn, I haven't thrown it this time of year. Pink to me is more of a pre-spawn spawn color. And I hear they'll hit it pretty well in the fall too. So that's to be determined. We will find that out this year. But as far as my everyday bait, it's usually this.
Now on Lake Cumberland in Kentucky, the biggest lake close to me, pink year round is the bomb there. I don't know why. It works.
Now I know Kentucky Lake, they'll hit red bug and green pumpkin with red fleck.
Yep.
My aunt lives in Katie's. She's just a few miles from the Barkley State Ranch. So we, before they started having issues with the Asian carp down there, we spent a lot of time on Kentucky Lake. And we fished Dale Hollow now several times as well. And they'll eat this. But I think that they think that this is a salamander.
Yeah.
Because I actually caught a little green lizard. I think he was trying to mate with my trick worm. But when I pulled up my trick worm, it had this little lizard all the way wrapped around it, its tail wrapped all around it. And I'm like, he was violating my trick worm.
Well, trick was on him. Ashley Paul says Buckeye is her go-to head. Spot remover, clutch.
Yep.
Flat out catching.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I throw. I throw the Spot Remover Pro. Like I said, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. That is just my preferred head. I will throw Venom head as well. They make a good head, but it's more angled. It doesn't keep the worm straight up like the Buckeye Lures head.
Yep.
Jeremy May says he fished the lady ICAST last year from Fisher. She was a lady from media, and he put her on fish to get a check.
You must, but I fished with a lady at ICAST last year from Fish Her. No, it's just me and Angie right now with Fish Her. It may have been Rod and Reel girls down there, like Wanda Stewart. I know fished, or was it Rhonda Pitts? Maybe, because she's on our team and she won ICAST last year. She actually made Team USA Bass.
Yeah, we had her on last week.
Great lady, great lady.
Rhonda's absolutely awesome. We just love her to death, and I've been having fun watching her adventures. Learning to run the boat because she was like me. For years I was just happy jumping in the passenger seat. Didn't care about running a boat. Didn't want to run a boat. Just I'd go get the boat in the trailer and back it in, let the old man load it. And then 3 years ago, I bought my first boat. So
nice. The frog lady, Linda Gessner, has a tip. She says, use the tip of the hook to make a hole and you don't need to take a piece off.
Ah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Can't beat that. And Angler of the Year, don't forget.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations on that, Linda.
Yeah. Guy Cromp loves a Zoom.
Yep.
It's your hair is why.
Jeremy, I swear, man. I think he's mocking you, John.
I get hit.
Think or no? Ashley says
Ashley, you need to come up to Lake Erie, honey. We'll catch you some fish on a Ned rig.
Smallies love Neds, let me tell you.
Yes, they absolutely do.
I have so many friends that throw them and catch fish with it. I just, you know what? Yeah, we figured that, Jeremy.
Yeah, we figured that out.
I don't even bring them to tournaments.
Really?
Ned rigs. Yeah.
Missing out, man.
Missing out. You know, they're surprisingly pretty weedless.
They are.
They're not super snaggy. But we'll pair a Ned rig with a crawdad every now and then, or something of that nature. It doesn't always have to be, the Ned style baits, especially for smallmouth. But again, for me, the shaky head with the trick worm kind of does the trick. Now, if I'm throwing a drop shot, I'm usually throwing a Berkeley Max Scent flatworm or a flat nose minnow. And I do like those baits, but like I said, until 2 years ago, I'd never even thrown a spinning rod. Usually my husband and I, when we fish a team tournament, we kind of do the 1-2 punch. I'll be in the back of the boat throwing a shaky head because it usually catches the numbers. And he'll be in the front throwing a jig or swim jig or chatterbait or something of that nature because he'll usually get the bigger bite. But I'll usually have the live well full before he gets on a big bite.
So did I see, Jeremy, yeah, Morning Dawn is a great color, especially even up here.
Oh, yeah.
Al with the American Angler Outdoors Network says, good evening. Did you see you have a 7'5" fence post?
Well, it's surprisingly not heavy for a 7'5" rod.
I mean, what's the action on that?
This one's medium fast.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, and it's a GLX. I like this rod so well that I've got 3 of this identical rod.
Oh yeah, that's a workhorse right there.
Yeah, this rod it's something else. And like I said, one is always rigged up with a shaky head. One usually has a 16th ounce weight on it with either a Zoom trick worm or a general or something of that nature if I'm fishing weeds. Because if I'm fishing weeds, I don't like weightless. I like it getting under the surface of the weeds, not sinking to the bottom. But I'll throw a 16th ounce tungsten when I'm fishing weeds.
Yep. I use a Cinco. I use a Cinco in that 16 ounce, and that's like real good combo for me.
Yes. It's like candy to bass, especially the ones that are like suspended in the weeds.
Yep.
Because people want to punch weeds, and the fish get tuned into that, especially as you're getting later in the year when they're really going to grass because there's things that are dying off and the grass is still oxygenating the water and things. So I like the 16th ounce weight because it will get just below the surface as opposed to, punching clear through to the bottom because, from what I've found, and especially if you're on a lake that has, shallow thermocline, sometimes it's better if you're not punching to the bottom.
And it's got a slow fall too. That's another bonus.
Yes.
Yeah. And Scott has my back. He doesn't throw them either. Greg Bogan says Greg, there's no quietness about the flat.
No, everybody knows about that.
Jeremy wants to know if you've tried the shaky head or Ned rig on a BFS setup. I
haven't. Like I said, until Fish Sticks sent me that rod this year, I fished ducket for a while. Yep. I will say that, but I had trouble with the micro glides on them. Like the glides always wanted to fall out. And when I started buying G. Loomis rods, I replaced everything in the rod blocker with G Loomis, and then Fish Sticks sent me that rod this year, and like I said, I was surprised at how well I like it, because I've been a G Loomis girl, for years now, and it's hard to beat a G Loomis, but like I said, that Fish Sticks rod is still in the rod blocker. So,
all right, I'm gonna say a rude comment, and I know we don't usually get controversial, but I used to make rods and repair rods, and the only thing that changes quicker than the MLF rules are the ducket guides. Okay. And
so you understand what, like I said, I wasn't saying that to be negative or anything in any way, John. It's just,
I was ecstatic about it.
Like I said,
he's agreeing with you.
My personal experience, and I know there's people out there, because Angie's a ducket girl and she loves her ducket rods. She actually bought the ones that I put in the top of the garage when I was replacing them out with other rods. So I mean, and that's her rod of choice. But for me, the G Loomis, it's lighter, gives you a better hook set, and you don't have to worry about breaking the line because the micro glides are popping out when you set the hook.
Yep.
Yeah. Lori Pitts, I'm sorry. Ard says that's what my husband and myself do. We tag team with different baits, and you have to. I mean, I do. Rob and I both do that.
Yes.
We don't always throw what the boater throws.
No.
Now, once they get tuned into something, then we might switch it up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, and, the thing is I've watched my non-boaters struggle during tournaments and stuff when I went out as a boater with Major League Fishing, and I'll usually let them go for a little bit, and then I'll be like, here, take one of these, tie it on. And sometimes they're receptive to it. Sometimes they're dead set that they're not confident in that bait. They're not going to throw that bait. And confidence has a lot to do with whether you're going to catch a fish on a bait or not.
Yeah. Greg Bogan wants to know what your favorite color is on Lake Erie for smallies.
For smallmouth, there, and I can't think of the color right off the top of my head. It's almost a sand color, and that's in the flat-nosed minnow or the I think it's called natural shad. So it's called the flat-nosed minnow or the flatworm. So I like both of those, and I like the one that's sand with the white belly too, and the flatworm up there.
Yeah, that's a smelt color, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, smelt. It's got a little bit of like charcoal almost running down the back as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jerry May said if they suspend the weeds, you'll throw a frog all day.
Well, and that's the other thing. Hi, Rhonda. My husband just made me start doing that this year too, because he says I'm too one-dimensional when it comes to fishing. Because, like I said, this is my bait of choice. I will always have one of these tied on the deck. But where we got comfortable fishing as a team, with that 1-2 punch, him fishing for the big fish, me fishing for the numbers. I let him go for years throwing the frog or throwing the chatterbait or whatever the case may be. But now I'm pretty in tune with throwing a frog and a wacky rig, but that was forced because my shaky head rod was locked in the rod compartment.
Yep.
No, Greg, I don't throw Neds.
Greg, I do. And if you're on smallmouth, let me give you I'll give you a little juice here. On smallmouth, throw a chartreuse head, and I think it's called yoga pants. It's a little TRD. It's like a black, dark gray. Try that combination.
Bubble get.
Yep, that's a good one too.
So, what speed reel do you use for the shaky head?
This one's a 7 and 2 and 1, I believe.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that usually is my reel of choice, is the 7 to 2 to 1 ratio. And like I said, this one specifically is a Karada DC. I do have some, I like the digital control. You're less likely to backlash in these, especially, and I don't care how many years you fished, how many tournaments you fished, whatever the case may be. if it's cold out there or if it's raining so hard that, your hands are wrinkled up, you're going to backlash on a bait caster because your thumb's just not going to stop the line. What I like about the digital control reels is it just gives you that added help, especially, like I said, when the weather's bad, your thumbs are wrinkled up or it's so cold, you can't even feel the line, put your finger on it.
Yeah. Greg Bogan says he's a Sandusky Bay guy and he loves that body oiler.
Yeah, Greg, I've got a camper up at Minky East, so we spend a lot of time up there.
Cool.
All right. So
gloves I use in the winter, Rhonda. Rhonda, I still use these, and you've got a pair of these. I think you have 2 pairs of these. And it's just so I can still feel the line. I think I showed you these before, John.
Yeah, what are they blue? Why are they blue?
These ones are blue. We do them in all different colors.
I know. I think I have a pink one that matches my shirt coming.
Yes, you do. You've got a pink set coming. That's coming with your daughter's shirt.
Yes.
But
cool.
Even when the weather's bad, I've used other gloves in the past, and I've always went ahead and cut the fingertips out of them anyway, because it's hard to reel up on a fish, especially if it's a big fish, with your hands covered with gloves. It really is. So even when it's cold, I usually use our Fish Her style gloves because you can still feel the line, you can still work the reel. They've got the grips on them, so even if you've got ice covering your handle or whatever the case may be, you can still grip onto the rod. Nice. And that wasn't a marketing ploy by me, by the way. It's just, Rhonda asked. So,
yep.
But Rhonda's got 2 pairs of our gloves we've sent her. I just sent her another set the other day, but yours are coming too, John.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Patty Summer says, "You go, girl."
Hi, Patty. That's my campground buddy.
Oh, okay.
Rhonda says, "I do."
She does. She does.
And she loves them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they really are good gloves. Like I said, if they weren't a quality item, it wouldn't be something that I would market.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What about line? What size? What was the line for the shaky head? What size do you generally use? Do you use braid?
Usually I use fluorocarbon, but I use 15 pound.
Okay.
Now, if I'm fishing clear water, I'll throw it on 12.
Yep.
If I'm fishing it with a leader, I like Tatsu leaders. If I'm throwing braid, I'll throw a Tatsu leader on it. Tatsu to me is just, you can get by with 8 pounds and it not snap.
Yep.
On a big fish. But usually I'm throwing 15 pound line. But like I said, that depends on water clarity, or if I'm fishing, if I know the fish are buried in wood, then I'll throw on 17 pound line. If they're buried deep in weeds, I'll throw on 20 pound line. It just depends on whatever you can get by with.
Right. Okay.
And also a good setup for fishing deep, like ledges and stuff, like that heavier head. That's pretty awesome setup.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to spinning, now what kind of line you go on spinning? You still go all fluoro, or you kind of change it up?
I'll use a leader.
Okay.
I use braid with a leader.
Okay.
I'll put about a 10-foot leader on it, and like I said, I like 8 pound Tatsu for my leader. Yep. For my standard rods, I throw Seagar. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. It's just my preference.
Yep.
But Tatsu for an 8 pound line it's pretty sturdy.
Oh yeah.
So I like throwing it. I like throwing it as my leader on my braid.
Yeah, and I noticed I've kind of used braid on my spinning stuff, and you get a lot less twist and a lot of problems with your line looping. So it does take, I think, some of the twist and line twist out of your line. So it does work good.
And the truth of the matter is Tatsu is so stinking expensive. I don't want to fill a whole spool with it anyway.
Yeah.
I would rather, fill the spool with the braid and then use the 10-foot leader on it with the Tatsu.
I got you.
And Angie says, "Hey, hooker." Hey, John and Rob.
Hey, there's your twin. Right, there's your twin right there.
Hey, also I know she better be out working in the trailer. Hey, hooker, get to work.
Okay.
I took my trailer down. Her and Donnie's installing our clothing rack. So.
Oh, I got you.
A funny story about
nice
trailers and stuff like that. I went to a show this past February, end of January, February, and I was walking by the Zico shoes, and they had a pair of pink shoes, pink sneakers.
Yep.
And I tried them on, and they didn't fit. They were too big. So I asked the lady. I said, you know, and she goes, well, she's like, what do you think? I said, well, they're a little too big. So a couple hours later, I went running back. I went walking through the booth again, or through the Zico area, and she called me over and she goes, here. She went out to her trailer and got a smaller size. They fit. So
she wanted to get rid of those pink shoes, buddy.
Hey, oh, yeah. I'm all right. I'm all right with that.
No, I'm a Hey Dudes girl.
Yep.
I wore Crocs for a lot of years. But when you wear the tread off your Crocs and you step onto a couple wooden wet boat docks, that'll keep you from doing that. So I switched to Hey Dudes, and I'll tell you what, I love them. If I get Hey Dudes to do some fish horseshoes, it would really be on, because I love my Hey Dudes. And
that'd be pretty cool.
You keep a dry pair in the boat with you, so if your feet get sopping wet, just throw on a dry pair when it quits raining.
Yeah. So you have a relatively broomstick rod, okay? which to me is like counterintuitive for what they would call traditionally a finesse bait.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is
I got 3 of that exact same.
Yep.
So you're saying you could throw it on a flipping stick.
She's throwing it power finesse. That's what she's doing.
Yes. Well, I'm just trying to think. I mean, how do you cast a weight that's what size do you throw mainly?
I'm throwing an 1/8 ounce. I flip, and honestly,
okay.
With this, I don't. Yeah. Now I'll cast if my husband keeps me too far off the bank, but with this rod specifically, because of the length, you can cast that light 1/8 ounce bait wherever you want to.
Oh yeah.
I mean it, and like I said, this rod flips so well. I've got 3 of this identical rod, John. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to try it out, buddy.
I did notice.
I was down at Pickwick, and I had this rod, and we caught a day of bad weather, so we went to a sporting goods store, and they had one there, so I bought a second one. And then when the tackle box in South Point was getting ready to close, one of their employees had one and asked if I wanted to buy it, and I asked what it was, and he's like, oh, 7.5 GLX. And I'm like, well, yes, I want that rod. So now I've got 3 of them. I don't know that I need 3 of them. It just keeps me from cutting baits off in retime.
Yep.
When it comes to fishing, I notice that need doesn't matter. It's usually a want.
It's I want
convenience. Convenience.
I wanted 3 of that rod.
I don't need 30 bags of green pumpkin flatworms, but I got them.
John, you should see my basement. But with that rod specifically, I mean, it's like I said, it's very versatile. You can throw that. I can flip that 16th ounce tungsten with a trick worm on it with no problem. I can flip it, put it wherever I want to. But when I'm fishing Lake Erie, I've always got 3 baits tied on those rods. I've got my shaky head tied on with the trick worm. I've got a 16th ounce weight tied on with a trick worm. And then I usually have an 1/8 ounce tied on with a speed crawl.
Yep.
And I use that same rod for all 3. So why cut and retie? I mean, you're cutting into your tournament fishing time if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And usually, like I said, what you'll find between those 3 baits and the Ned rig being the 4th, and I'll throw that a lot of times on my spinning outfit, but with those 4 baits, you're going to catch a bag of fish.
And using all the same 3 rods, you get accurate because you're throwing the same thing all day. So, you know how it is. You get like a 6.6 rod and you pick up a 7.6, it takes you a while to get kind of reacclimated. So,
Rhonda Pitt says you need one more.
I need Rhonda.
one more of the GLX.
I need another 7.5 for that Ned rig is what I need. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm looking here, and one of us don't look like the other. You know, going to Sesame Street. You know, I have a fish herd jersey on.
Yeah,
you have a fish herd shirt. Where's his bikini?
Thank you for being so supportive of fish herd, John. Rob, we'll discuss this after their podcast tonight.
Oh yeah, we'll get it straightened out.
I thought we discussed that with his bikini.
Yeah, I've got him a pink bikini coming.
I got to shave first. Just saying.
Okay. Please do. Please do.
John about to fall off his chair there. Oh man.
We're gonna have to turn this into a.
We've had so much fun building this brand, though. It's it has been very rewarding. It's been a lot.
Oh yeah.
Your partner in crime says Rob's been holding up.
I'm working on my summer bod. I'm working on it.
Dude, we ain't got till 2035.
You need one of our standard size weigh bags, Rob.
Oh, I know.
John, we sent him the mini weigh bag because he doesn't throw a shaky head or an Ed, so he doesn't catch big enough fish to need a full size weigh bag. So he got the small version. But we do actually have a full size version.
Oh, yeah, it looks good.
They are awesome bags.
Yeah, they do look good.
They
good
are
designs, great designs too.
Yeah, we just had an order put in for Athens County Bassmasters. They ordered them for their entire club. Of course, we did Rio Grandes this year.
Oh, she lost signal on us for a second. There she goes. There you go.
But we did Mercury bags for Malone's Marine. Mercury approved our designs for their, Mercury bucks that they do for the dealers and things. So we did several bags for Malone's Marine. Those are coming in with your daughter's shirt next week or later this week. So we're excited to get those in as well.
Awesome. Pam Horn says better late than never. She'll have to catch up later. Appreciate that.
Yep. Now I did see a tournament. Don't you have a tournament coming up? I think the winners get your weigh bags or something.
Angie and her husband are doing a tournament for River. It's during River Days on the Ohio River. I'm not fishing that because we now have the trailer. I will probably set up. We are helping sponsor that. But we also sponsored. There's been a lot of ladies that have gotten our weigh bags through Two Chicks on a Boat this year as well because we sponsored them, and for every tournament we've sent 2 weigh bags for them to give away as drawings. For the lady anglers participating in Two Chicks on a Boat. So we're kind of all over the country now. It's
y'all grow like crazy.
It really has.
Uh-oh. You get another call. Angie says September 8th. So
yeah, September 8th. Yep.
There you go.
I think she sent me the flyer, and I think I put it on our page. So I'm not.
Yeah, I think I forwarded it and shared it on the pages. I think so. There she is.
There we go. Can you see me now?
Come up just a hair.
Hello.
Yep. Hello. Come up just a hair.
I can't hear. Hold on.
Okay. There you go. Got you now.
Now it's funny. She sends a guy in New York who's upset about getting 7 to 12 pounds of fish.
Yep.
And the guy in Tennessee.
I can't hear you guys.
Uh-oh. That ain't good.
Do you know sign language?
She'll come back on stage.
She's going to come back on.
Yep.
I got that small bag, and I love it. It's a great day bag.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for Tricia to hop back on, I just want to say thank you to the LBAA, Travis Birch, and also Steve French. Steve does a phenomenal job with helping Travis out and doing everything behind the scenes. And
absolutely.
There's also Craig too, but he's more of a behind the scenes guy. But I just want to give a shout out to Steve for all that. So,
yep, they worked. I've seen them in action. They worked their tails off at Gunnersville. Especially Steve. He worked his tail off. There she is.
Sorry, somebody was trying to call, and it.
That's when it happens. It happens.
I couldn't hear you guys, so I just backed clear out. And
yep, that's the best thing to do.
Sorry about that.
Reset it.
We're missing half your face. So
yep, come up. There you go. There, perfect.
There you go.
I thought you were going to say you missed me while I was gone. See?
Well, we did. We knew he's coming back, though. We knew he's coming back.
Yeah. Pam Horn loves all your products, Tricia.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that, honey.
Now, are there any special things outside of the chartreuse that you do to your baits when fishing the shaky head?
Not with the shaky head, no. Nope.
Do you think the head color matters?
I think so. I think it gives it a more uniform look. And honestly, when they hit this bait, I don't think they think they're hitting a lizard or worm, especially when you're talking about fisheries up here. Like I said, Dale Hollow does have those green salamanders down there.
Yep. But
with the tail sticking up on this, I think they think they're hitting a small bluegill that's feeding on the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the bluegill have the chartreuse tails.
Yep.
They look chartreuse when they're swimming through the water. So like I said, when they attack this bait, I believe they think they're hitting a feeding bluegill.
Yep. Now it will catch smallmouth and largemouth, but for spotted bass, that is spotted bass candy. I promise you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'll have to remember that next time I'm in a spotted bass fishery. I am fishing the Toyota Owners Tournament down on Murray. In October as well. So we'll be doing a little bit of traveling down south this fall when it starts to cool off up here. But I say that, but we were up at Lake Erie clear up till the week before Christmas last year, and back up there in March. We were up there so late that we were taking sponge baths basically and using heaters in the camper. So we love it up there. I mean, it's just all the traveling that we've done. There's no place like it.
Absolutely.
So I'm just baffled at how you take this finesse technique and use it as a power technique. Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, with the rod, I guess you could consider with the rod itself, it's a power technique. But like I said, I'm flipping it. I'm not reeling it in fast. I'm barely moving that bait, inching it along the bottom and stuff when I'm fishing it. It's, I guess I like, I'm a girl, so I don't have the upper body strength that a lot of men do and things. And I like. Neither do Rob and I.
Probably.
Edge that longer rod gives me. I mean, for a hook set, it really is it's a sturdy hook set.
Yeah, you got to.
You catch big bass on this. I mean, some of the biggest, probably the biggest bass I've caught have been on a shaky head, but that's because, it's what I throw most of the time. Unless they absolutely will not hit it, and then, I'll pick up a Ned rig.
Yep.
Lori Pitts-Ard wants to know, when in October will you be on Murray?
I think it's around the 25th and 26th. We'll be down there for the Toyota Bonus Bucks, the owners tournament that they put on. They switched from, they've went to Pickwick and out to Missouri, Table Rock the last few years. So Murray will actually be a nice change. I've actually never fished Murray.
Cool.
So I'm anxious to get down there. We did already reserve a campsite at the state campground there. Again, I'd rather sleep in my dirt than, a hotel. And, I worked the ER clear through COVID. I retired from the prison, spent the last 6 years in my local ER, and I didn't catch COVID until I was at the Great Lakes Fishing Expo and came home 2 days later and was sick. and
no.
tested positive for COVID. Like I said, after working the ER clear through COVID, never caught it. Had all of my vaccinations, had 2 booster shots on top of my vaccinations, never caught it, and then went and stayed in a hotel and ended up with COVID. So
it happens.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that. It could have been, I guess, somebody in the crowd there. I have a hard time believing it because all the people I was exposed to.
Yeah,
at the hospital, and I think during COVID, a lot of people were quarantining themselves from their family in hotels.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had the same thing. I fished I think it was a super tournament on Cumberland. And toward the afternoon, I feel like I had a sinus infection. I didn't feel good. So I picked up my good buddy, Robert Gibson, his boat, helped him back down. He said, "Man, you don't look good." I said, "I don't feel good." So I went home, woke up next morning, had 103 fever, went to the ER, and they said, "Oh, you got COVID pneumonia." Took an x-ray of my chest, and it's just full. And I'm like, I don't have no trouble breathing.
Yeah.
So, but 2 weeks later, I walked out of there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was long. Couldn't get outside my room. Couldn't have visitors. I had the clothes I had on and my phone, no charger. I'm like, this ain't good.
I didn't fish the Buckeye division during COVID because I didn't want to expose a non-boater to something I had been exposed to in the emergency department.
Yep.
So I didn't fish during COVID as a boater, but like I said, I ended up, I never caught it. And I swore it was because of my blood type. Because, everybody in my emergency department, there were 2 other individuals besides myself who didn't catch it. And we all had the same blood type. So anyway, I'm glad I guess I finally did catch it because it was either that or I was going to be a lab test dummy somewhere. So, hey, I caught it.
Yeah.
Put me in a cage.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, Rhonda, they really do. We look forward to the owners tournament. And last year we actually took one of our fish our breast cancer awareness jersey down, and we had the pros sign it there, and then we donated it to Brandy Mixon with Pink Fishing, and they auctioned it off at the Bassmaster Classic for us.
Awesome.
They sold raffle tickets to raise money for Pink Fishing using that jersey. So the intent this year is now that we've brought weigh bags into our lineup, and I do have a breast cancer awareness weigh bag. So this year we'll take that weigh bag with us and have the pros sign it and do the same thing. So even if we don't make it to Fort Worth for the Classic, then our gear will be there and for a good cause because we'll be helping support Pink Fishing.
Absolutely.
Lori Pizzard says she's in town for that tournament and hopes to meet you in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Lori, like I said, we're staying at the state campground right there. So, and we'll be on the water. Just look for the pink boat because I will be there with Pinky. The old man's boat's staying in the garage for that one.
There you go.
All right. So anything else for Tricia, Rob?
I know. I said that it seems like, I don't know. A lot of guys seem like this is the shaky head kind of south of Mason Dixon line works a little better than the drop shot. I've heard a lot of guys say that, but I use them both. But I've heard a lot of guys say the shaky head works better south. But
well, and like I said, until 2 years ago, I never threw a spinning outfit.
Yep.
God's honest truth, because when I learned to fish, it was with a bait caster, and I had no desire to throw a spinning reel. So, until I started fishing the Detroit River, I'd never thrown a spinning outfit. I like the lighter line with that, but like I said, I've caught on shaky heads up there with 12-pound line on this same rod too.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you can catch on it. Just depends on where you're fishing at, how deep the fish are. I think the shallower fish up there tend to prefer the shaky head.
Yep.
If they're deeper, they like that drop shot better.
Absolutely. And the one thing I do on my spinning reel, like if I'm throwing on a spinning outfit, I'll pitch it a lot of times too. But one trick I'll do, instead of running the hook in the middle of the bait, I'll run it off to the side, just barely skin hook it, unless I'm around a lot of cover. But that seems to help my hookups on the spinning reel and the rod.
That's definitely a good idea. But you can also put the hook all the way through.
Yeah, make a channel. Yep.
And kind of lay it flat on the opposite side of it.
Yep.
Especially if you're worried about hookups. But like I said, I'm telling you with this rod specifically, I don't have that issue.
Yep.
With hook sets, and I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I've got 3 of them. So
you can cross your eyes with that one. You can cross your eyes with that one.
Now I've got a variety. I mean, I've got spinning outfits in there. I've got a 6'10". I've got a 6'9". I've got my frog rod out there. I think it's 7 foot. I've got a 7'1" out there. This is the only one that I've felt the need to have 3 of the same rod, rod, same reel setup. So
yeah, that's your workhorse. You can't go wrong with that.
No, and like I said, down here, my local lake is actually Rocky Fork, and what we consider our local lake. It's still 45 minutes from us, but it's a heavy weed growth lake.
Okay.
So this rod specific, I mean, it's great when you're fishing heavy vegetation like that.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right, Tricia, we're not going to keep you much longer. Your favorite homemade cookie? I can't remember.
I told you it was whoopie pies. My mom just made me some the other day.
Well,
there you go.
She only makes them for our birthdays. Okay, so my brother's birthday is quickly approaching. So I called her, and she just so happened to be making whoopie pies. I may or may not have commandeered some of my brother's birthday whoopie pies.
I hear that. But we're gonna get John to catch a fish on Shaky Head this year. That's our goal.
John, he definitely needs to. And I'll tell you what, if you guys can make plans to get up to Lake Erie, we're taking our second camper up there this week, actually. So Angie and her husband can stay in it this weekend. Then one of my non-boaters from a few years back, he's getting married in August, and we're sending him up there for his honeymoon. And do you guys ever listen to the band 3 Doors Down?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I met Todd Harrell and Louisa last week.
Oh, hey.
His wife bought 4 jerseys off of me. Todd bought a jersey off of me, and Todd was walking around Louisa with his Fish Her jersey on. But if you go to my Facebook, you'll see pictures of me instructing Todd on how to fish a Shaky Head.
Okay.
And he and his wife are planning on coming up to Lake Erie to do a little bit of fishing too. A little husband and wife friendly competition up there. So
nice.
We'll see how that works out. But yeah, he's a great guy, and we had a lot of fun. But yeah, be sure to check out my page, and you'll see those pictures of him and his Fish Her jersey, and me showing him how to rig up a Shaky Head.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a South Mississippi band too, by the way, kind of my home area. Well,
his primary residence is in Mississippi, and he's got a place in Louisa, Kentucky too. And we have set up at Rebel River Outfitters. And, that day was so incredibly hot. It was 98 degrees. And I'm so thankful because by the time we got set up, I mean, we were already, heat exhausted. It was so hot. But now we've got the trailer, so we just pull it in, open the back, open the pop-up window, and we're ready to go. So I'm really excited for it.
Absolutely.
Barking Ruger says, keep up the great work, Trish. You're doing awesome things for the sport.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, well, how about we let her go so she can get stuff done, because she's a busy woman. And we appreciate you coming on, trying to educate me. I mean, I'm going to have to probably go ahead and watch this show 3 or 4 or 5 times. I'm kind of thick-skulled.
Well, like I said, I'll tell you what, John, make arrangements, because you're just in New York. You're not too far north of Erie. Make arrangements to come to Lake Erie for a weekend. And, I mean, you can sit at the campsite and drink a beer. You don't even have to go out on that main lake, because a lot of people are intimidated of Erie because, it's just, it can get rough depending on the wind direction. But you don't even have to leave the campsite, and I'll show you how to catch on a Shaky Head.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about the water. Earlier in the show, Jeremy he was crying like a little baby about the lake and blah, blah, blah. But it's all fun and games. But
Jeremy, come on up, buddy, and I'll show you how to run a boat in 6 and 8 footers.
There you go. Thanks, all. And I want to mention real quick too. If you mentioned it earlier, Fisher is going to be at the East Tennessee Fishing Expo, one of my favorite events. It was end of January usually in Knoxville. So if you haven't been there, that show gets bigger every year, and Fisher will be there. Can't miss it.
Yes, and one more thing, too, before we go. We're setting up our campground this weekend. That's Minky. It's up on Lake Erie. Yep. But that's on Saturday, but on Sunday, the Ohio Bass Federation invited us to their championship tournament. That's at the Dixie Ranch in Sandusky. So we'll be setting up there as well. And then in October, we'll be at the Sandusky Fishing Expo.
Cool.
So, even though we're transitioning into fall, we're still not giving up on our customers because I like the face-to-face thing. I prefer it over my online sales and all of that good stuff because I can, look at a lady and say, hey, you need this size. And they don't get intimidated or just, because I'm another woman. So I, understand sizing issues with ladies. And I just prefer the face-to-face thing. And so we're excited that we've got some events planned for the fall.
Awesome.
I got an idea. How about next year, Rob and I bring our family up to Lake Erie for a tournament?
There you go.
Absolutely. Like I said, we're taking the motorhome up there. Now I'll have to bring it back home in October for when we get ready to go to Murray. But we are going to have the motorhome up there too, at least for a couple months. So I mean, even if you guys can slip away this fall, you get a hold of me because the camper I keep up there, because Lake Erie is just terrible winters. You might get 2 inches, you might get 2 foot of snow.
Yep.
So the camper I keep up there is a later model. And then we've got a motorhome that we actually pull one of the boats with when we travel south. We take both boats. Oh. But it's going up there. But that, the Jayco sleeps like 8 people.
Oh, cool.
So you guys could cuddle up and sleep together in the Jayco just fine.
Just as long as he wears that bikini.
As long as he's got that bikini on, yep.
and you know what? If he comes up in this winter, he won't have to have a blanket.
Yep, there you go.
Hey, you'll keep him warm, John.
There you go.
I don't know if that'll work, but all right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in, and Tricia, thank you very much for showing me how to use a shaky head because it's something I want to learn. Because I know, I talk to fishermen and they shaky head. I'm like, whatever.
I'm telling you, if you start throwing it, you won't throw anything else.
Oh yeah, it's addicting.
It will be on your deck and. The old fish attractors on Kentucky Lake, Rob, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You pitch one of these shaky heads past those and just slide it back through and let it kind of finagle its way around those. Yeah, it's a good bait for that, John.
Absolutely.
We're going to learn you right, buddy.
That's right.
All right, Tricia. Well, thank you very much. If you want to stay in the green room for a few minutes, you're more than welcome to. If not, you can go do on what you're doing. So,
all right, guys.
All right.
All right. Take care. All right. See ya.
You guys take care.
All righty.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, I love having her on. She's very knowledgeable. She brings it every time.
Oh yeah, brings energy. Yeah, she's said our company. I mean, it's just amazing. Me and you see it just growing and growing and growing. So, but I see big things in the future for them for sure.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I'm completely happy. I have a winter hoodie, a summer hoodie, and tournament shirts in a bag.
Yep.
I love every product.
Absolutely.
And my daughter's gonna enjoy her shirt when that comes in. So.
Oh, she's gonna be thrilled.
Yeah. But all right. So thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Tonight we had Tricia Mcgraw talking about shaky heads. That'll be over on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channels, as well as the American Angler Outdoors Network in the next couple of days. And now I'm going to be going back and doing some more editing, especially on this episode, because there was a lot of good tips.
Oh, yeah.
In here, and we'll get them uploaded to the new channel we have, which is for the VIPs. It's $4.95 a month. Subscribe. You can quit at any time. We got some shows lined up more on the professional side of it. As far one of the shows we have is pre-tournament practice, what to do before you get to the lake. We have one on sponsorship. We have another one coming up. I believe I just booked tonight, talking about photography and what we can do and video editing and all that stuff. So all the stuff that you need nowadays to get on the show.
Absolutely.
get sponsors. So, all right, buddy. Well, hey, you take care, and we'll talk same place, same channel tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow, and peace out.